is steroids cheating? You know, the question is, what is cheating? If you go in a natural show that you're not supposed to take steroids and you're taking steroids, then you're definitely cheating. But if you go in a show that it's okay to take steroids, and you take steroids, that's not cheating, right? I mean, you're not doing anything you're not supposed to do, you know, but are you cheating morally? You know, because bodybuilding is about lifting weights. That's what it's about. It's about pumping iron. It's not about injecting, but over the years, it's actually became more about injecting than lifting weights, you know? So that's the question. I think everyone has their own opinion on whether it's cheating or not cheating. And I didn't have a lot of money in the beginning, and therefore I wasn't able to take a lot of steroids. My thing is that, you know, whatever it takes, you know, if you can do that and you can get away with it and nobody knows and you end up winning the show, then fuck, that's great. The thing is I can't really say I'm for steroids, but I'm not really against steroids. You know, it's a personal choice. I'm really against young kids taking steroids, you know, teenagers, even in your early 20s. I'm really against that. And once you start taking steroids, your testosterone levels, your testes shut down and they no longer work. So your body is not producing testosterone anymore. And you know, if you shut down your production at an early age, it's never gonna come back to what it was. You know, when you have low testosterone, you're tired, you're lazy, you don't feel like doing anything, you know, you have no sex drive. There's a lot of negatives. So it's very important for you to have a normal testosterone level. And the problem nowadays is it's almost like young kids join a gym, and when they join the gym, they buy the steroids. It's like in the old days, it was like, we join a gym and we go buy protein powder. You know, that's what we do. Yeah, I just joined a gym, so I need protein powder. Now, it's like I just joined a gym, I need steroids. You know, and it's like the day they start the gym is the day they start the steroids. And it's almost like they go hand in hand. And it really is out of control. You know, testosterone is something our body, we're born with testosterone. It's something that we need. You know, so we're putting more of something we already have in our body, you know, so just knowing that information makes it a little more, you know, make a little bit more sense that it's not as bad as, you know, people want to believe. You know, they're a lot more common now and doctors are prescribing them now. So a lot of older, you know, adults are taking steroids just to, you know, to bring up their natural hormones, you know. So if you take, you know, if you're taking steroids and you continue to take them, it becomes a point where they no longer work and you're just taking them and all you're doing is destroying your body and causing damage, and you're not getting any benefits. So it's mandatory that people take a break. You know, everything ends up equal. You know, so if you take steroids for 20 years and you know, you got all this muscle and you have this great sex drive and you know, you had all these girlfriends because of this and that, well, guess what? You know, the negative is gonna come back at you eventually and it all equals out. You know, so all the good you're getting, you're gonna get the bad.
Now, what is synthol exactly? Because I keep hearing that synthol keeps coming up all the time in bodybuilding today. Do you talk about it at all? I mean, is it something that you've used?
I have used synthol. I used it, you know, probably 12 years ago, and I didn't like it. You know, it blurred my muscles. It made my muscle look weird, and it was incredibly painful. And it's very hard to train. You're almost guaranteed going to have to take some painkillers while you train because it's so painful. So the whole theory of synthol is you inject it in, it stretches the fascia tissue out, and therefore allows the muscle to grow at a faster rate. So that's the excuse of, you know, I'm not cheating, I'm not using cosmetic enhancements, I'm doing this because it's gonna make my muscles grow faster. But that's all false. You know, it doesn't do that. And a lot of people, what they don't understand is that when you're injecting oil in your muscle, that oil is blocking the blood flow and the oxygen flow to the muscles. So your muscles are fed and they need to breathe, you know, they need nutrients brought to them, and you're blocking those cells from getting what they need. So those muscle cells will eventually die off and your muscles will get smaller. But as you're injecting the oil every day, you don't realize that because you're just putting enough oil to make your arm look a certain way. So you keep doing it and you don't realize the true muscle under there is dying and you're losing that muscle. And it'll never come back. You know, once those muscle cells die, it's over. If you're putting a bunch of needles in your bicep and then you're putting oil in your bicep, you know, that bicep is weak. And you go to train back and you're doing 3-plate rows, that bicep can tear. You know, so, you know, in my opinion, it's a bad thing. The bodybuilding would be a better world if synthol never existed. It would be a million times better. There's a drug called Nolatil, and this is the new drug that people are using. And this is, instead of filling the muscle with oil, it causes the muscle to inflame and swell. So it's your real muscle swelling up and becoming bigger. And this is something that people are using right now. This is something that's on the pro stage right now. And me putting it out there is probably not the best scenario, because there are people out there that don't have a lot of knowledge, that want to act like they're the first people to, to educate people on something. They come out and they make it look bad. They make bodybuilding look bad. But that's the new drug, is Nolotil.
It seems like every week somebody gets caught for steroids in professional sports, MMA, football, whatever, right?
Right.
Do you think at this point they should legalize them or not care about it at all? What do you think should happen in the sport?
As in bodybuilding, they don't test for it, and it doesn't seem to be a problem. That might be, the right way to go about it, is not test for it, not make a big deal about it, not have it in the news every fucking day, for kids to hear and kids to know, and kids know that, this basketball player got caught for steroids, this UFC fighter got caught for. Well, guess what? Now we're just putting that in these kids' heads, steroids. All these champions are taking steroids. And the kid is going to be more aware of steroids. He's going to know the people he looks up to take steroids. So you tell me, what are the chances of that kid taking steroids? It's probably a lot greater being aware of all this. Well, if steroids, were allowed, we wouldn't be talking about them. Kids wouldn't, they wouldn't be on the news. They wouldn't. So I think that probably would be definitely a better scenario. That's the thing, is that, when people want to be the best or want to do whatever it takes, they might do whatever it takes, to achieve that. So they might be doing stuff that they shouldn't be doing to get that money, and that's why, there's a lot of, bodybuilding can be a very ugly world that people aren't aware of, shit that goes on. I have a friend that was going to compete in the Masters Olympia back when they had Masters Olympia, and he was feeling sick. He went to the doctor. This is a true fucking story. He went to the doctor. The doctor said, "You are going to die. You are going to die." He says, "You have got to get off the drugs you're taking." He was taking steroids, and he was taking coke, and he was doing ephedrine. He goes, "This is my dream, my life dream, is to be on the Olympia stage." He competed at the Olympia. He got last place, and he died about 2 weeks later. So he chose to die to stand on that stage, and knowing he wasn't going to win a trophy. I mean, he fully aware he was not at the level of the other guys, but just to be on that fucking stage, that's my dream, and I'm willing to die. And he did. He died. He left a wife and kids. And that's just an example of, how powerful it is. And, there's a huge difference in me when I'm on a cycle or off a cycle. And, any girlfriend I've ever been with, will attest to that and say there's a huge difference, and I'm a lot less patient, and I snap, and I can become angry really quick over nothing. The thing is, as well, everyone out there knows that anyone that takes drugs is going to deny the side effects. If someone's an alcoholic, they're going to deny it. I'm not alcoholic. I still go to work, and and they're always going to deny it. And so, I came out and just told everyone the truth. Exactly the 100% truth. And the truth is, it definitely makes you more aggressive.
Generation Iron 2, May 12th.